Hello friends of the world, Paul Whittakin again, and what I want to do is just follow up on my first video to try and explain this code, this numerical code, the universal law of numbers, and it's based on the base 9 number system. So for first timers, I'll just briefly reiterate some of the things I said on the first one, and then I'll delve a little bit deeper into the way that it works. So we'll get started right away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are the only numbers. 0 we disregard. This is represents the universal law of numbers, not man's law of numbers. So 0, it's basically a concoction of man, but it's a good one, and the 10 base number system is very useful for a lot of things. But anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are the only numbers. When we get to 10, it's 1 and 0 is 1. 11 is 1 and 1 is 2. 12 is 1 and 2 is 3. 13 is 1 and 3 is 4. So it goes on and on and on, and it repeats itself. It's a circle. Okay, this thing is a circle. And what we'll do is I'll show you that when you take any of these numbers, if you take it to any power, it will follow the sequence and it will repeat itself again, because as I mentioned, it's a circle. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, 1 and 6 is 7. Times 2 is 32, 3 and 2 is 5. Times 2 is 64, 6 and 4 is 10 is 1. Times 2 is 128. 1 and 2 and 8 is 11. That's 1 and 1 is 2. 256 is 2 and 5 is 7, and 6 is 13. 1 and 3 is 4, and it just keeps on repeating itself, and the same thing applies to each one of these numbers. So it just keeps on going around in a circle in sequence over and over and over. And I mentioned that there's many codes that are embedded in this, and you know, that it's a mind-boggling thing, but the beauty of it is it's the simplicity of it. So this is not a theory, it's a law of nature. Even the theory of relativity is a theory. Many laws in quantum mechanics, they have, you have to make allowances for error. In this law, there is never an error, it's always pure truth. So what we'll do is we'll look at some of these codes that are embedded inside of it, and we look at the 248751 code. The 248751 code is the way that numbers double, okay? 2 plus 2 is 4, double that is 8, double that is 16, double that is 32. Double that is 64. 1. Double that is 128, 1 and 2 and 8 is 11 and 2. So that's the 2, 4, 8 sequence that we have up here. But you'll also see that we have this 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 embedded in the chart. Let's look at it. Look at the difference between these two numbers, okay? We're always going to look at the difference. So 9 minus 7, 9 minus 5. Here we have it. 2, the difference between 7 and 9, 4, the difference between 9 and 5, 8, 1, 5, 1, 2, 4. 2, 4, well, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. We'll just do it like that. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. The difference is again between these two numbers. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. You see it here. 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. What about over here? 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. Once again, the difference between these two numbers. 2, 1, 5, 7, 8, 4. 2, 1, 5, 7, 8, 4. Okay, so we have this other sequence here, 4, 7, 1, 4, 7, 1, 4, 7, 1. That's also 7, 4, 1. 7, 4, 1, 7, 4, 1. Okay, that's just obvious, but the way 4, 7, 1 and 7, 4, 1, that's the way that numbers increase by 3 and increase by 6 respectively, because if we take 4 plus 3 equals 7, plus 3 equals 10, which is a 1, plus 3 is 13, which is a 4, plus 3 is 16, which is a 7, plus 3 is 19, 1 and 9 is 1. 19 plus 3 is 22, 2 and 2 is a 4. 22 plus 3 is 25, 2 and 5 is a 7. If we do it with a 6, we have 6 plus 6, 7 plus 6 is 13. 1 and 3 is a 4. 13 plus 6 is 19. 1 and 9 is a 1. 19 plus 6 is 26. 19 plus 6 is 25, excuse me. 2 and 5 is a 7. So as you can see, I'm a mere mortal here. I make mistakes, but it never will. You see, this is the difference between what goes on here. That's the beauty of it. If you're making a mistake, you will see it. It will immediately, something won't add up, and that's how you know you're making a mistake. But in any case, that's the sequence of the way that, 6 doubles. Just start here. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 6 is 13, which is 4, plus 6 is 19, which is 1, and over and over and over. That's a circle as well. So we have another code here, set of numbers that are embedded in the universal code, and you will see it here. 181, 818, or 818, 181. It's showing you right here the difference between these two numbers. 8, 1, the difference between 9 and 8. 8, the difference between 9 and 1. 1, 8, 1. 8, 1, 8. 1, 8, 1. It's a part of the circle. It's a repeating sequence. It's all embedded in the code. So what I'm trying to explain is that this set of numbers, it simplifies the entire complicated world of numbers, and it brings it back to its pure simplicity, because it encompasses everything that we call mathematics. Everything we're trying to understand, and it's all so complicated, and the world is one big ball of confusion. But in this code, this universal code, which is God talk, if you will, the universe talk, if you will, it simplifies all of the ways that numbers relate to each other. So what we have here is a 369 code. And the famous inventor, Nikola Tesla, made this statement that if one were to understand the magnificence of the numbers 3, 6, and 9, which are the main numbers embedded in here, and they're everywhere, that's the key to understanding the universe. And I would have to venture, he was talking about this, in his own way, I'm sure. Well, the fact of the matter is, if you do arithmetic with these numbers and you start to recognize the patterns, you will see that everything fits in perfectly and there's no coincidence to it. Now, just to address the base 10 number system. The base 10 number system is a very effective way to understand mathematics in the world that we live in. But it's more of a human, it's a human invention, and it's not an invention that came from the universe. The universe doesn't care. If you put $1,000 in your bank account, you don't want to come back the next day and only have $1. I understand that. But the universe doesn't care about any of that. The universe just works on its own principles. And embedded inside of these numbers are the principles that the universe gives us. So anything that you can think of, if you're on the right track, if you're thinking straight, if it's rational and it has to do with numbers, it will fall into place on this inside of this code. And there's a lot more to it. But we'll save that for another day. I'll let you play with it on your own. I'm signing off. Paul Whittekin.